Our Congress is ripping apart our Constitution and the White House, okay? The time for that neutrality is over. We need to step up and fight to save this republic. And I would encourage, if you are a constitutional candidate out there somewhere in one of these 50 states, stand up. Get a website, get a campaign going, and bring freedom back to this country. Because, folks, if we do not step up and save our republic and save our freedom right now, it will be gone, and our children will wake up slaves in the land our fathers founded.
I'm worried we're there. We've hit the tipping point already. I freaked out. I put up a clip on my blog the other day from September 10th, 2008, the day after TARP went through the Republican/Democrat regime in power.
Right.
And I freaked out because I said, I don't think we can recover from the slippery slope that we just went down.
Let me just stop for a minute for a little technical advice. How much time do we have before Trace? Ballpark.
2 minutes.
2 minutes, okay, all right. So in 2 minutes, we will be live on the Fox News channel where Trace Gallagher and I, do we already have Shelley?
Yeah, he's ready to go.
All right, we'll go.
Ask her for its week.
Shelley, give us, all right, in 2 minutes, we're going to be live on the Fox News channel. Trace Gallagher and I are going to be talking about Guantanamo Bay. Tune in to the Fox News channel. You can watch us both there and here. Until then, Shelley, what are the best tweets that you're getting?
Well, actually, I'm getting a lot of new viewers today tuning in, and they're saying that they are new to Freedom Watch. My sons have recently introduced me to Freedom Watch. Can't get enough. Where do I begin? So much to learn. And that's from Darla Aranda.
Okay. Well, she can begin by reading Ron Paul's The Revolution. She can read Judge Napolitano's A Nation of Sheep. And she can continue to watch Freedom Watch. Isn't it interesting? Her children brought her to the show about freedom.
Because now we're live on the live desk, but just talking, we're going to go. We got it back and forth here. Have you ever seen online and on television at the same time? That's what's going on here. We got Judge Napolitano. The big story of the day, by the way, is the fact that the Attorney General Eric Holder has now said, right?
Yes.
That 30 detainees from Gitmo can leave. And what he didn't say is where they're going.
Well, there's a variety of people in this group. There are 17 Chinese Muslims called Uyghurs. It's a strange word, but that's their nationality and their religion, who, under a Supreme Court opinion which allowed them to challenge their detention at Guantanamo Bay, did file such a challenge. The federal government was able to produce no evidence whatsoever that they were terrorists or criminals and couldn't even charge them with a crime. So even though folks may be squeamish and understandably uneasy about people that have been incarcerated in Gitmo coming to the United States, these people are not terrorists, are not criminals, have not been charged with a crime, and have no criminal record.
As if that's supposed to comfort us, Judge. I mean, for some reason, I mean, no, you're saying that, but it's almost like saying, we talked about this, the senator in Alaska who was not convicted, right? The not convicted senator in Alaska, all the evidence against him. The question becomes, do I need this? The question becomes, how do we know? And why do we have to take these people just because they want to get everybody out of Gitmo?
Because we incarcerated them, we locked them up from the fields in Afghanistan, and we brought them here. Am I too close to the microphone?
I think you're fine.
Okay, all right. And we brought them here. Under the Constitution, we have an obligation to recognize their freedom. Now, you know I have been to Gitmo,
yes,
and I have interrogated military intelligence and CIA and FBI, and have very strong opinions about the physical plant and about the theory of holding people there. But the Bush administration, in 6 separate cases, attempted to defend its idea that it could put whoever it wanted and do whatever it wanted and keep whoever it wanted there as long as it wanted. 6 separate times it lost in the Supreme Court. And the sum total of those opinions is this: try them or free them.
But isn't there the cart before the horse theory, where we say, okay, if it's going to be shut down, as you say, why not figure out where to place these people before you announce shutting Gitmo down?
That is a political judgment that I think would make the shutting down of it a little easier for the American public to take. In the case of the Uyghurs, they're going to be released here in the United States. It's up to them to get green cards or citizenship or go wherever they want. In the case of about 13 others, whose names we don't know, but the government has admitted it has no case against them, doesn't even know why they're there, the government will release them anywhere that they want to go. That leaves about 180. Those 180, there are cases against them. and those people will be tried in American civilian courts where they'll get a fair trial to the extent the trial can be fair before an American jury.
Judge, it's great to have you. We're at the strategy room, by the way. The strategy room, if you can pan on here, we've got a full guest list.
Do you know what this show is called in the strategy room?
What's it called, Judge?
Freedom Watch.
Freedom.
This is the show at 2 o'clock on Wednesdays, which you have joined a couple of times. How could you forget being here with Shepard Smith last week?
How can anybody forget? We went viral.
This is the show where we watch and talk about America's loss of freedom and argue about what needs to be done to preserve freedom. You're so good to join us.
The judge, the senior judicial analyst at Fox News Channel, Judge Andrew Napolitano.
My best to your sidekick, McCallum.
Back to you.
All right, back to
Judge.
Freedom Watch. Thank you so much, Trace. It's so nice of you to join us like that. Shelley, back to you. What else have you got for us by way of tweets, by way of questions to Cody, to Congressman to be Harris, to your old buddy Judge Napolitano, or for all of us just to bat around?
Well, Judge, I have a question for you from Andy Levy from Red Eye. I think you know him.
Jeez, that name and that show sounds awfully familiar to me. Is that some wild and crazy thing that's on about 2:30 in the morning?
I think so. I think he might have even been on it once or twice.
Yes, I have. And I love Andy. What did he say? What did he accuse me of?
Well, you can probably he wants to know why it makes sense to tell the terrorists what methods we will use to extract information from them.
Well, the issue is not whether or not it makes sense to tell them that. The issue is whether or not we were violating the law by the means which we utilize to extract information from them. And though I have been a fierce opponent, Cody Willett is leaving us. Cody, thanks very much.
Hey, thank you so much.
It's always a pleasure. I'll see you at happy hour and see you here next week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cody. Though I have been a fierce opponent of President Obama's destruction of the free market, destruction of the obligation of contract, and even destruction of our civil liberties in ways not unlike the Bush administration, I do agree with him with respect to some aspects of the rule of law. And if the prior administration, Andy, and everyone listening, broke the law, no matter how noble its goal, no matter how good the information is that it obtained, if it broke the law, we need to know it. I will paraphrase what my friend Shepard Smith said right here last week about torture. It doesn't matter if it works. It is against the law. It is against the Constitution. It is against the heart and central core of American values that we don't do this to individuals. All right, Andy, you got your answer. What else? I hope you'll talk to me in the hallways. What else do you have, Shelley?
All right, I have one from Scott from Oregon, who is asking why all the interest in secession, it makes us seem like alarmists, and how about working within the system to fix the system? Now, you guys talked about that a little bit earlier, but I'm getting a lot of questions like that, so maybe just a quick recap.
Working within the system to fix the system. Lou Rockwell and a lot of our friends that agree with everything that we believe in says, let's educate, let's cause a generation of Americans to come of age that understand the free market. Peter Schiff joins us now. He's one of the best defenders and explainers of the free market there is. Is that basically toothless if it is unaccompanied by political activism as well?
It definitely has its value, Judge, but you're right. It needs to be accompanied by political action from within the grassroots. Yes, we've seen these politicians go up, get elected and do the same kind of dirty business over and over and over again. But we have a unique opportunity right now. Because, success for me in the 4th District isn't just getting one new congressman, one constitutional conservative congressman elected. It's leading an entire movement, an entire army of constitutional conservatives to take our Congress back and to reestablish these free market principles that we're supposed to be living by and to put the government back in the box that it was supposed to be in the first place.
Peter Schiff joins us now. Peter, were you surprised to read in the papers yesterday that Chrysler was begging the federal government to own 50% of its stock?
Well, I think not. It's not actually the federal government. It's the unions. I think they're talking about giving the unions 55% of the company. I mean, talking about just the spoils of war. I mean, the unions helped destroy Chrysler by jamming these contracts down management's throat. I don't excuse management. I mean, they could have stood up to the unions. They could have taken more strikes. and put their long-term needs of their companies to get ahead of their own short-term desires. But it's ridiculous. And of course, if we